Actually, this Niggun, someone once said, I don't know where this comes from, but someone once said that the Rebbe commented about the Niggun, years ago. I have no mocker, I just remember hearing this. A Niggun unteichen. A Niggun unteichen. The Niggun doesn't have it. Now it kind of makes sense. Now the teichen came in. So how does the Didan Notzach come in? Interesting. So the word, the phrase Didan Notzach, it's the Gemara. It's a tour. The tour brings what the Gemara says. No. The story that they ever mentioned is Medrash. But basically the tour says about the lulav. By the way, one of the days, in the middle of the court case in Teves, the court case was. By the way, the court case actually by Shlocha Protis started on Yutes Kislev. Yutes Kislev Tavshim Memvav. It started and it lasted till Ches Teves, I think. So one of those days, they never walked out with his lulav. Officially, what was the reason why he walked out with it? He took it out from his room to the library. I don't know what the official reason was. Like, basically the lulav he burned later by Chometz, I think. Did they ever bring the lulav to Chometz? I'm not sure. Yeah? I'm not sure. But some people burned it with the Chometz. Why did he take it then? I don't know what the official reason is. But you could definitely be mefarish because it says in the Torah that it's a in Torah, Tommy, that would say it? Didan Notzach, huh? Inun, whatever. But it says that you go out with a lulav, it's a kind of representing on Sukkot that we won the court case on Rosh Hashanah. So that's where I don't know if that's the original place, whatever. So then in the Rebbe's Michtavim, maybe the previous Rebbe more so, you find that expression kind of once in a while. And I think my Zayda has one of these letters about a certain issue that he had about getting papers to go to Morocco. So the Rebbe writes, Didan Notzach, Didan Notzach.
wrote the whole story.
Wait, no, that's Hei Teves Farbrengen, yeah. I'm just saying that came later. So the Didan Notzach is used, a phrase used in Igros Kodesh throughout the years, the phrase. So basically, in Tavshim Memvav, in the middle of the court case, Kinnas HaShluchim time, before the court case, I think Shlomo Kunde was the one that kind of, brought up, connected it to this matzav. So then I remember then that by Kinnas HaShluchim, it wasn't in a big group, it was in Memvav. And Shalom Poizner, my wife's grandfather, he was like the old Shliach, put him up on someone's shoulders, and he screamed out 3 times, Didan Notzach, but it never Niggun yet. This is Kinnas HaShluchim. Then in Kislev Memvav, the Rebbe was talking a lot about Simcha. I remember then as Bachrim, we used to try to make dances Friday night. The Rebbe was talking a lot about Simcha. And I remember once we were sitting by one of these Farbrengens upstairs in the Zal, and we're discussing that we gotta make Simcha. How do we do Simcha? You gotta dance. Dancing wasn't so common those days like now. So, and you sound crazy. You come Friday night, you start dancing, 10 guys, everyone thinks you're crazy. So we said, it's okay, we're going to call ourselves Vada Meshubayim. Okay. One of the Vada Meshubayim was Mendy Sharstein. I wish he was Meshuga today also. So one time there was a dance going on. The Rebbe wasn't in his room, but there was a dance going on one of the days of Kislev, in the middle of the Mishpat. It was going on, with the magnet. 20 guys dancing like for an hour. And suddenly one of the Niggun in the dance was without music. It was like very Lebanese, but 20 Bachim. And one of the Niggun was like, yeah. And Beryl Lazar, as far as I remember, he was the one that suddenly popped in Didan Notzach. I think it was spontaneous. Spontaneously, he popped it in. Didan Notzach, like you connect to Chiyamelech to every Niggun. Didan Notzach came in. And that's how the Niggun became. But what's miyuchad about this Niggun is that in the Mems, even the Lameds, you don't find so much the Rebbe, you don't hear the Rebbe singing by the Farbrengens. All the tapes are from the Yuds and the Chofs, right? The Rebbe began a few Nigunim, yet always, but you hear Yud Shvat, I think, Yud Shvat Mem Zayin, after Hei Teves, you hear by the Farbrengen, the singing Didan Notzach, by the end of the Farbrengen, whatever, and you hear the Rebbe go, Didan Notzach, you hear it once, you hear. Then came, after that, so Didan Notzach became the theme. Then, by Didan Notzach itself, Hei Teves, so as a kid, to say how did the dancing, it wasn't planned to be 7 days, there was no plan. What happened? Basically, the Rebbe everyone was so excited that the Rebbe, those days, the Rebbe didn't daven downstairs, right? All davening was upstairs, except Hanukkah and Shabbos Yom Tov, Huh?
We went out from this room. He said, Niggun.
Yeah, but I'm saying the davening was not downstairs ever.
No, upstairs.
Yeah. So Label asked, I guess whoever was told Label asked the Rebbe if he could agree to daven downstairs. The Rebbe agreed. The Rebbe came down for Mincha. There was a big stir. The Rebbe was davening downstairs, Hei Teves, in the middle of a Tuesday.
No, but the platform was up already. So how they said it, they built it.
You know what? I can't think about because it was there by Oifen Kavua.
You used to only be to Tishrei, then they put it out.
Right.
It was up, I think.
Oifen Kavua, by the way, only Tafshin Nun. But it was maybe they put it up quickly. I'm not sure. You know, it was that there.
It was up.
Huh? Yeah, definitely was there. So and then in the middle of Ashrei, the Rebbe turned around and asked Label for Chumash. So right away, he ran, took a shul Chumash, whatever, and the Rebbe was looking in the Chumash throughout davening, and everyone, it's probably going to be a sikha. In Kachava, there was a sikha. The Rebbe spoke about the chitas, the B'tchiro Yaakov Avim, and spoke about whatever. So that obviously fled up the simcha, the dancing that was going on from 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock. There was always a potential of the dancing kind of, how much can you dance, you know? So, but sikha, so the dancing continued. I already don't remember so much. I was already somewhere else.
Too much water?
The kids out. The dancing went till Ma'ariv, and then it continued. And then I for sure wasn't there. Mincha, I remember barely, a bissel. But at Ma'ariv, I woke up again. But by night, I already wasn't there. But I understand that there was a kind of an official. The dancing was throughout the day, and by night was like a Farbrengen. The next day, 770 was a ghost town, but I was around because I slept through the whole night. And I woke up in the morning and I threw up the vodka, no farbison. I could have re-drank it. It was white. I remember then, like I'm sure I didn't know the rules. I didn't know the rules. You hear? What do you take after mashke? My Zayden knew. You take oil. You drink oil. But I didn't know that. So I went to Lipska. Yeah. I went to Lipska in the morning. I woke up 9 in the morning. I threw up in mashke, and I go to his Lipska's chocolate store, and I was looking for something sweet. I needed something sweet, so I bought a bottle of apple juice and orange juice, and I went to 1414. I took a few drinks, and then Schon gave me Gissen, whatever. I come 770 basically was a kind of dead. Then in the afternoon, the Rebbe went to the oil. Wednesday. That's Hei Teves. So, which wasn't a regular day, obviously. The Rebbe went to the oil every day in the time of the court case itself. Every day, Sunday to Friday, for 3 weeks. But this is not a regular day. The Rebbe didn't go to the oil then. For Hei Teves, the Rebbe went to the oil. And then the Rebbe came back. And I understand that someone told, then people were starting to come back to 770. But basically the story was a kind of over. So someone, I think, asked Label to ask the Rebbe if he'll daven downstairs. So Label says, he says the party's over. Like, why should I ask the Rebbe downstairs? He didn't ask the Rebbe. And the Rebbe davened upstairs. And then what happened after Ma'ariv, after Mincha? Then Mincha Ma'ariv was already together. Imam Vov, Imam Zion. After Ma'ariv, Mincha Ma'ariv. Because it used to be separate, Mincha Ma'ariv, but then it became together. So the Rebbe turned around and started to say Sikha upstairs, which is extremely unusual. And the first few words are not recorded. Right away, someone Ganyaki came with it. What was the Sikha? The Sikha was that to Eis Ratzon, I mean, the Rebbe didn't say the word Eis Ratzon came later, but the Rebbe said that it was all given, suddenly the Rebbe talked about Magvis, to give tzedakah, and then it was all, and Mevil came beschreiben, Shmei v'Shem Imai, like some kind of standard what the Rebbe would say by Farbrengens. And then the Rebbe said, we can schreiben was Mevil, because Sai wird man das nicht lehnen. So kind of the Rebbe saying, you don't have to be, the Rebbe said, not to be Shemen. You can write whatever you want, because I'm not going to read it anyway. Like, who cares? The Rebbe's not going to read it. And the Rebbe said, and the Rebbe said, then you don't have to even send it over here, because wherever there's a Beis HaChaim with a tzaddik, and then the Rebbe, I think, said, Morris of Achpelah, Kevarachel, but obviously, everyone sent it to the Rebbe. So, after such a sikha, it was like a kind of a short sikha. So then the Eilat Matan gave him, they felt that something's going on. So we started to say L'chaim again. And I remember there used to be upstairs in 770, nowadays it's room 302. Jem had a conference room where they had like 20 phones that they used to answer when people used to call in from the Farbrengens, the cable television Farbrengens, call in to get a holiday guide, whatever. So they had a whole bunch of people sitting on the phones answering the phones in the middle of the Farbrengen. So those phones, I remember them, were used to call the whole world. Now in Europe, for example, it's 2 o'clock. In Eretz Yisrael, it was already 4 o'clock in the morning. We were calling the whole world. I remember calling up different places, a whole bunch of bachrim. You wake up in the middle of the night, and everyone got excited. And there was only 2 fax machines in the whole Crown Heights those days. And the fax machines were flowing with paper. People were sending from all over the world. And you're talking about less than 24 hours. When they ever went to the oil, the next day again, Zion, Teves, they never went with 9 bags, when usually it never goes with one bag. They say, someone said that they never went with 9 bags, he came back with 7. So some shaita said, I hope Mike Settle went to the oil. and then they never comes back from the oil, and then Mincha Ma'ariv was downstairs. So the celebration is a kind of beating up. The Vav Teves after that Sikha, the Olam had getanzt. There was Lebedik. And then there comes back in the house, there's another Sikha, and Thursday night was dancing, and this goes into Asar Teves on Sunday morning.
What happened then?
So a few people managed to mess up the how you say, mess up the.
They had breakfast. They had
Ruin
breakfast.
the party.
Huh?
They ruined the
They
party.
had
Ruined the party.
They had breakfast.
So this is what I wanted to get to. So Yud Beis Teves, the Rebbe spoke sharp, and the Rebbe says, Didan Notzach, Zicher darf man gedenken, as Didan is the Rebbe Schwer, and you can't just do whatever you want. The Rebbe spoke very, and then the Rebbe said, now, a kind of celebration over, learning, and there's going to be beginners and so on. So, but in that same Zicher that the Rebbe kind of stopped it, obviously it had to come to an end. The Rebbe then gave that was the first time the Rebbe gave such validity to the end of Hei Teves. First of all, the Rebbe used the expression in Smuga, Shivas Yemei HaHekef, the Didan Notzach, or Hei Teves. The Rebbe gave it, he categorized it. He called it the 7 Shivas Yemei HaHekef. So that was a very strong point. And then the Rebbe brought that medrash. But the Rebbe gave the whole story of Didan Notzach, that it came, the story is that there was a certain Tana that used to sit and learn near a certain river, and a Ruach, a good spirit, came to him and told him that you should know that there's a Ruach Ra that wants to settle over here and to cause harm to the city. So Mela, tell all the people from the city to come together tomorrow at this time, and they should come with the noisemakers, whatever, pots and pans or whatever, anything that can make noise, and they should all say Didan Notzach, Didan Notzach. And then they saw suddenly a drop of blood float on the water, and they knew that they took out the chayas, whatever. So they never brought the story in, but the Rebbe's message was the Muhammad, the Yetzer Tova, the Yetzer Hara,